Welcome back, Casa Law customers and investors. Today, I have one of my close personal friends, clients, business associates, and quite frankly, mentors with me. Rahul. Rahul owns Pinnacle. What's the name of the company exactly, Rahul?
Yeah, that's the company for the real estate profit, and then we
Yep.
have Chicago REIA and other companies.
And what's really cool about Rahul is one of the founders of Chicago REIA. Now, people who have not heard the term REIA stands for Real Estate Investor Association. And what Rahul runs is not just a real estate investor association, but he runs a network that allows people to connect, provide over-the-top value on helping us create a life worth living, a legacy worth leaving, and quite frankly, dreams worth achieving. And Rahul's he's not just a teacher. So many times when we go all over the country, I have lots of clients that have gone to Utah and Nevada and all over the place, and they go and they speak to people who just teach, but they don't do. I have personally witnessed Rahul build his portfolio and achieve his life worth living. We all hear about flips. We watch HGV, and we see people that buy a house, fix it up, and flip it. But today, Rahul's going to dive deep on why rentals can be the quickest way to retirement in real estate, why it's difficult to achieve financial freedom through flipping alone, and what is this concept of 257 and does it really work? Rahul, welcome.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for having me, and thanks for a very good intro. I'm not a coach or teacher or anything. I just try to tell people what I have done in past 6 years and what I have achieved, and I just want to share my experiences with everyone. And based on that, if people can learn from it and can actually start building portfolio, that will take them out of their current situation or build a nice portfolio for them, which will be their legacy, their nest. So I just here to share my thing, my story. Obviously, we do have a large network under Chicago REIA where we meet, 13 different locations. A lot of times you're part of those meetings too. So REIA is about teaching everyone what is there in the market, what opportunities are there, what different type of investments people can do in real estate. And based on that, they can pick and choose what works good for them. You'll meet different people like Rahul's there, who achieved like anywhere from 10, 20, 30, hundreds of properties in last 5, 6 years. So you can learn from their mistakes and try to avoid those and build your own portfolio. So again, thanks for having me, Gary.
Absolutely. And, again, what I love about working with Rahul and Andrew Holmes at Chicago REIA, number one, it's the number one real estate investor association in the United States, certainly Chicago's number one real estate resource center. But he is so selfless. He actually will help you establish a clearly defined goal. We obviously know we can't hit a target we cannot see. We can't arrive at a destination when we don't know where it is. And while Rahul has been extremely successful on his own personal investments, he's willing to share all those secrets with other people. And these meetings, you go to them, they're free. It's over the top value, connecting people that are top in the industry. So Rahul, a little bit about you, your background. Before you were involved in rental properties, you're an engineer.
Yeah, so I come from the corporate background. I guess a lot of people will relate to my story. We do, everybody who does well in the college, or at least they go to the job, they go to the corporate world, and always the entrepreneur in us keeps on telling us, okay, this is not something we want to do. we want to get out of it, but the people when I say we, I'm calling the busy professionals, the people who do good college, they go to nice industries, they work, and every day when they meet for a coffee, they're talking about how I can get out of this job and try to find something which works for me. And I'm one of those guys, or I would say I'm one of those fortunate guys who was able to walk away from my corporate job, which basically based on real estate which I accumulated. It gave me that opportunity to get out of that job. So just my intro, like here, like I'm a mechanical engineer with MBA, masters. Worked with good companies. I love my job. Working with Boeing, Caterpillar. Started investing back in 2011, and now at 2018 I'm roughly at 130 plus single family properties, and these are all. And that's what I'm going to go through in my presentation next. Is we focus on the small rental single family properties in the nicer suburbs of Chicagoland. So that's what I want people to understand, that flipping is good, but again, what is flipping versus what is renting? So we can roll to the next one, Gary. We can.
And as we're going forward, folks, if the one thing that I picked up that Rahul said there is when he was in the corporate world, sitting around the cooler, feeling somewhat desperate because he had a very, very good job, but he wasn't doing something that lit him up. And what he identified is that real estate both lights him up. I can see the passion in Rahul and Andrew at Chicago RIA, but it also pays them well at the same time. So if you're getting into this simply because you want to get rich, simply because you want to sit at home and watch The Price is Right, it's really, really, really hard work. Yet if it's something you're passionate about and you're willing to put in the effort, you can do exactly what Rahul has done. And I'm really excited to have you kind of take us through that. So Rahul, what is the secret formula here?
Well, there is, like I said, there's no secret formula. This is actually, people ignore the dullness or the boring stuff, and I think the money is made in the boring stuff as compared to the exciting stuff. So a lot of the programs which come to Chicago. Chicago is a very large market. A lot of educators come here. They have programs for flipping, and flipping is very exciting, very sexy, and people get, okay, I need to flip the house, I need to make like 6-figure number, but is it really possible with the flips? And people never go to the depth of it, like how many flips you have to do, how much are the problems, whether what happens if the property doesn't get sold, or it's on the market through the winter, how much money you're spending. So once people start thinking about all that, flipping for me is like a job. So this is what I feel about flipping. Flipping is like, and Andrew goes through this thing for a lot of times, and he explains it much better than me, obviously, at the RIA meetings. But I see flipping as a job. It's basically you are running on a treadmill. If you stop, you stop making money. If you want to make more money, you have to just run faster. And how fast you can run, or how many times you can run, that's basically how we see flipping. Flipping is basically a job. So every year you might make 5 or 6 good flips, make good money. At the end of the year, you can pay the good chunk of taxes to the Uncle Sam. But on January 1st, you have to start working again. If you stop, the money stops. And that's how I figure that flipping is not something which is going to take you to the next level. I really like this picture, and this is because it's when you're this is for me. Like, I'm the one who's trying to grab that money, and there's somebody else on the chair who's basically pulling me back. This is the example of a corporate job. That's what happens. You know exactly what you want, but there's somebody else is holding you back, and that's where everybody gets stuck. And that's the corporate job for you. So I know, Gary, you are a free soul, but I think you should comment something on this.
I should comment something on this?
Yeah.
Help me out. I don't know.
So what I'm saying is, like, if you ask Gary, Gary is always on the playing golf or doing some exciting things. And why he was able to do that? Because nobody's controlling him. He's the one who controls everything around or happens around him. But he took action. He has his own business, so that's why he could do it now. Same thing about you. Like same thing. I was going through these frustrations back in 2010 to 2000. Like I worked corporate job almost 15 years. So all those 15 years, I was feeling like this. I want that money, but somebody else is not letting me go and get it. So that's where I see the corporate job is. Uh, just saying, okay, what happened to me is like when I was in the corporate job, I was thinking about, okay, what's next? What will take me out of this thing? How I can retire? How much money I want to retire? And then everything kind of falls into place when I met Andrew. I met Andrew back in 2011. He was trying to get from he used to be broker that time, and he was teaching the concept of, okay, how you can make money through rentals, and if you do it right, if you do it disciplined, you can actually retire from that income. And that's what he was trying to teach. And being an engineer, I was like I'm a number guy. I want to see the numbers on a paper, and then all the concept he was telling was actually making sense. And that's when I started feeling, okay, rentals is my solution. If I want to retire fast and I want to get out of my corporate career, that's the thing. That's the thing I want to do. So I chose that path. And why it works and why it works in our market means today's market conditions are really perfect for rentals. They're still good. Another 2-3 years, I think Chicagoland is a perfect market for doing the rentals. This is just a quick example what you can do in today's rental market. You're purchasing properties around like 60-70,000, putting rehab. You're selling, and so I'm just going through the flip versus rental here. What you can make in flip and what you can make in rental, and you realize that, okay, where the equity is and where the real money is. So if you look at the flip side, I really did 2 or 3 flips to start with because that's what I was excited to. So let's do the flips. Let's make more money. What happened was in my first 3 flips, I was able to make like roughly $21,000 per. So like 42,000 is what I made from those flips. On the rental side, the same properties which I kept for rentals, I finished the similar project or like less rehab, because now on purchase, if you look at the rehab on the rental versus rehab on a flip, there's a difference because you don't want to really make properties that good for renting. But you can make a $525 a month, which is for 3 properties, which I put for first 3 rentals, $1,500 a month. You do the calculation, how much money you're making per year, and then you're not working. So this is where my career started.
Yeah, and let me just, if this is not yet sinking in for people who are watching this,
yeah,
I want to just point out a couple of things. Number one, let's think about the flip side of this diagram as income producing, yet once that money comes in, there's no residual. The rental side, what Rahul is talking about is a true wealth building strategy. Okay, you can drink a glass of water, the water's gone. This is like a flower that comes back every single year. And when he talks about the profit, remember, folks, anything sold within less than the year, subject to ordinary income tax. So if you're a mid-level a person that, is thinking about leaving Boeing or Caterpillar, and you're at that 30-40% tax rate,
I started, I was excited with flip, I was excited with rental, but as I start getting into more and more and more numbers, you can see it's basically becoming self-explanatory. So I just want to keep it very high level for this conversation with Gary. We want to keep it short, but this is what happened year 2. So that the first chart I was showing was first year. So I did 2 flips, I did 3 rentals. I made some money on the flips, but I have 2 or 3 rentals, which is producing some cash flow properties. So number 2 year, I had some problems with the flip, and that will happen to you. It's you get into too many properties, it's going to get stuck in winter. So I only made $12,000. So on the left side, I'm showing the money I made in the flips. On the right side, I'm showing the money accumulated in my rentals. So year 2, I was making 18,000 with my three rentals, and on the flip side 12,000. The year three was good for me on the flip. My rentals are now six. So every year I'm trying to add three rentals in my portfolio. I added more than this, but this is what I'm to explain this concept. I'm trying to use these three rentals per year, which anybody can do in today's market. So if you just go down and see at the end of the day, let's say at the end of the 6 years, total flip, I made $239, $239,000 overall. As compared to my cash flow, which I got from my rentals, is $270,000. What was my net worth at the end of the flipping of my 6 years career is only $239,000, which I might have spent already. My net worth on my rentals, if you look at on the right side of it, every property is around $140,000 with 18 properties in there. My net worth is $2.5 million at the end of 6 years. And the best part of this thing is at the end of the cash flow with 239, if I stop doing my flips, I'm not going to make a single dime. But my cash flow properties are still there and they're still rented and they're still making money, which is $120,000 per year, which basically replaced my corporate career salary, which I walked away back in 2013. So
That's amazing.
so main thing we are trying to prove at the Chicago RIA and all the people which we do here is like, if you're doing a job, you don't have to flip. What you need to do is use your job to get into the portfolio and portfolio property which makes sense, which makes cash. So the concept which we always tell people here is 257, and this concept is done by explained by Andrew a lot of times at 3-Day is in 2 years buy 5 properties, and with loans, commercial loans, if you don't touch the cash flow and keep paying off your debts, in 7 years you'll get your portfolio cash or debt free, and that will be your nest egg at the end of your career. So that is what we always want to say. And some of the things which you always observe is investment that takes money out of your pocket is not worth owning. So something which you buy today, it doesn't make a cash flow, doesn't give you anything back on your money, don't invest in it. Every property you invest, the cash flow every month, it makes a positive cash flow. It's a good property. So 257, for anybody who is listening and who hasn't thought about renting, this is the first goal. I'm big with the goals. There are a lot of people come and say, okay, Rahul, you have 100 plus properties. Where I should start? I have no properties. So this is your goal. Make that 257 as your first goal. Try to get 5 properties in 2 years. Put the commercial loans and be disciplined about the cash flow. Start paying those off in 7 years. You'll see you have a 5-year portfolio free and clear, which will become a good nest egg for you. What it takes to make 257, and Gary, I know we are going a little bit too much on a time, but I'll just make it fast. So to make a 257 for somebody who's starting from scratch, you can see the inner circle. That is what you need. You need motivation. You need something which you can take action. You need to believe in this concept of renting or having a 257. That motivation, and with good knowledge, with you have credit, like people like me who are busy professional, we have a good job, we have good W-2, we have good credit. That helps you accumulate properties and get loans upfront, so you can pay it back on the time, pay it back in 7 years. And obviously time, you have to put time into this thing. You just need those things. Everything else is service you need to get this 257 together. So like attorney, like we use Gary for all our transaction. He does a great job at Castle Law. That's the attorney you can always hire for your transaction, and always get into right resources, because they will take care of you. You need accounting, you need rehabber, you need a good property management. Those are the services you can hire. Those are not something you need to have. The thing which you need to have to get the 257 is the knowledge, is the transaction, how to put this whole transaction together and how to keep it as a business. So that's the concept I believe in, and we believe in at Chicago RIA. So this is, oops, sorry. So this is where I started. So initially, I was really not convinced with this idea of having bigger properties, and I started small. I started really small townhouses in Hanover Park, in Addison, in Hoffman Estate. This is the first 5 properties which I bought. But look at the numbers. Every property, I still own those properties. I still have same tenant actually staying on those properties. I'm making a $2,600 a month on just 5 small properties. And why I say zero investment, because the properties were appraised out, and when I got the loans, everything which I invested in the property, all the money came back to me. So I really not have any money stuck in those properties. So with zero investment on this just small 5 property portfolio, I'm making $2,600 a month. And if you look at the value of these properties, you can call yourself, it's your first $1 million business. The values of today's market on these properties are roughly around $1 million. So it's $1 million business. So that's why we like to have this 257 concept. Every 257 has $1 million asset base. So you can make as many as 257s you can make in this market. So that's basically the power of, and this is what I really want to share with you guys. Like, you need to understand numbers and where you can come to understand those in Chicago area. That's where you can meet me, meet Andrew, meet people like Gary there, and all the talk about rentals. You'll meet like 10s or 15s of people who have started from scratch in 3 years, and now they are at 10, 20, and 30 properties.
So Rahul, what I want people to do is I want them to go to ChicagoREIA.org. I want them to sign up so that they can get notified of different meetings. Look, you gave us a ton of really, really, really good nuggets. When we have these meetings, and I think you guys do hundreds of these a year, and they're all over the Chicagoland area. So if you're watching in Waukegan, or you're watching in St. Charles, Naperville, Park Forest, there's locations in your area. And when you go to this meeting, what it does is it helps you establish a clearly defined goal so that you can write down what your perfect life looks like. You can define it clearly. You can determine how much money you'll be making, how you'll be making it. You know, I tell people all the time, no excuses. This is your life. Make 100% effort to go in, and through a program like 257 that you teach and you dive deep. We've got this upcoming 3-day. I want to put in a plug for it. Very, very cheap to sign up for it. It is a awesome event. You're going to have the top people from the Chicagoland area, all the way from Frank Montroe from Montroe Homes, Click Invest. I will be there. This helps you build that consistency and momentum to put your plan together. And look, what Rahul said, 3 properties when he took you there, 3 properties a year, and you can achieve that financial freedom. So, Rahul, you guys I have learned so much in just the short time that we've been working together. I really appreciate you coming on. I hope that people who are investor clients of mine will take advantage of Chicago REIA, will learn from you. I'm not a numbers guy, so when I listen to you as an engineer, I mean, Rahul may not get a lot of things right, but the analytics and the math, this guy is spot on. So if you follow that system, you will achieve that life you're living. Thanks again for coming on, Rahul. And I know we're going to be seeing each other here in the next few days.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary, and see you at the next event, which is next Thursday, and after that, the 3-day.
Yeah, next Thursday. We'll put this actually on before next Thursday. Thursday, October 11th is a big one in Downers Grove at the Doubletree, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Rahul.
That's the vendor showcase where you can meet people like him, and there are like 20 other people who are helping my business. So what we share at REIA is only the people who share who we work with in my business there. So you can actually use those resources and make 257 for yourself.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rahul.
Okay. Thank you.